South Africa's logistics backbone, Transnet, is in the spotlight today. The state-owned freight company will unveil its annual financial results. The performance of its rail, port and pipeline operations closely being watched amid ongoing efforts to turn around years of underperformance and, of course, of corruption as well. Our business reporter, Ntokozo Khumalo, is standing by at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, where those results are being released. Ntokozo, good morning. Transnet under pressure to reform and restore credibility. It is so key to igniting our economy as well, isn't it? Are we seeing any of these changes at all?
Good morning, Michelle. Well, according to Minister Barbara Creecy that we heard from at the Southern Africa Railway Conference about 2 weeks ago, the reforms starting to pick up traction, and Transnet CEO Michelle Phillips, who will then deliver this year's results in the next 15 minutes or so, sharing those sentiments that the reforms are starting to bear some fruit, but a really low base that we are coming off, Michelle, to try and get things back on track. When we look at the annual results for the 2023-24 financial year, Transnet having reported a net loss of 7.3 billion rand, and that's after a net loss of 5.1 billion rand in the 2022-23 financial year. That's on the back, of course, of higher debt and interest rates pushing up financing costs to about 14.3 billion rand. And that debt really being the sticking points that did see S&P credit ratings then downgrade Transnet's credit worthiness rating, the long-term ability for them to pay back their debts without facing any challenges. Of course, debts having ballooned between 7 billion and just under 14 billion between the 2022 and 2024 financial year. So we can see there, Michelle, that the financial pressure is certainly still there for the operator, not something that can be resolved anytime soon. But S&P saying, while they did downgrade Transnet, that it does not expect any immediate shocks that would then set Transnet back when it comes to some of those reforms. But as I said, we heard from Minister Barbara Creecy about those reforms, trying to get in private players into the fray to boost back those volumes that we did see declining from 2018, that then did see policymakers and governments try to bring in reforms by 2022. So let's take a listen to what she had to say about progress in those regards of getting private players in.
The national rail policy of South Africa establishes the principle that rail infrastructure will remain state-owned, while opportunities will exist for third-party access in rail operations. The policy emphasizes the importance of economic regulation to facilitate equitable access to the rail network and ensures that it is properly managed. I announced that 11 private sector operators have met the initial application criteria and have been allocated amongst them a total of 41 routes across 6 corridors for operating for a period of between 1 and 10 years. The Transnet Rail Infrastructure Manager, or what we call TRIM, estimates that the new train operating companies will carry an additional 20 million tons of freight per annum by the end of the 2026-27 financial year. This will supplement Transnet Freight Rail's forecasted volumes and contribute to government's target of increasing freight moved by rail to 250 million tons by 2029.
Well, Ntokozo, let's hope that reform and credibility, at least the restoration of credibility, will be the order of the day with that announcement there today. Transnet will unveil its annual financial results. Ntokozo Khumalo is at the JSE.